Chances are if you were to use your debit or credit card at a Kenkoit gas pump, you'd be protected from coming across a skimming device. He was wearing his bulletproof vest, which he says saved Wester's life because he was hit in the chest and in the hip. As you can see, the wildland fire is continuing to burn this morning and has expanded to the southeast edges of the park, while thousands like Keith and Rochelle are now in recovery mode. Others are still trying to save their home. And what would a story about a test track be without me seeing firsthand just how well these tires work? Well, Jim, what do you say? Let's step on it.
Let's go.
One of the biggest pieces of evidence that officers look for are pieces of mail just like this one right here. In our daily lives, it's nearly impossible to walk around without there being a camera capturing our every move. Just ask the men and women of Crime Stoppers. And the concept is to bring as many prescription pills as you possibly can to a party. Then you pour them into a bowl, grab a handful, and swallow as many as you can. Teens and young adults are referring to these get-togethers as farm parties. Police say that it's one of the oldest tactics used by thieves, and it's being used now more than ever. Now, although the Manguano brothers still stick to traditional forms of farming, they have also embraced new methods involving technology. This road here may look clean and empty today, but tomorrow, it could look like this. The two were here at the Acacia Apartments trying to repossess Mohammed's car when things turned deadly within just minutes. Mari Castaneda has been washing and sorting out clothes since she first got word of the tornado touching down in Acuna Sunday, and she says she wishes she could do more. Jay, roughly 30 minutes ago, the Monahans Police Department handed us this news release that explains how Imelda Dominguez ended up in jail today. Neighbors tell me this man was a homeless veteran whose health was in bad shape, but it was where his body was found that shocked them.
It's just devastating. It's like I gotta start all over and depend on somebody else right now.
Rochelle Guidry and her 9-year-old son lost nearly everything they owned after flood waters consumed their home.
My bedroom furniture was my dad's grandmother's, over 100-year-old furniture. I mean, it's just totally destroyed. It's already mold growing everywhere. You see how high the water went? There was nothing safe.
Her pain can be felt by thousands in Denham Springs, including her next-door neighbor, Keith Kelly, whose home is a total loss as well.
Just total destruction. Everything destroyed. All the memories, all the hard work that went into buying things that we all own, you know, and work so hard for, it's all gone.
While thousands like Keith and Rochelle are now in recovery mode, others are still trying to save their home.
Those 4 pumps are what's pumping all the water away from my house right now. Now it's not up, it's not to where it's gonna get in. I still have probably 5, maybe 6 inches at the most, and that's kind of exaggerating. But as soon as it gets that high, it's in my house.
Pete Bird and his neighbors in St. Gabriel have been fighting to keep flood waters away from their homes for the past 4 days. So far, he's been successful. But if the flash floods continue like they have been, that could quickly change.
Scary when you're about ready to lose everything, you know, your whole life.
But with neighbors like Blaze Ragusa, who are keeping a close eye on the water levels and people's homes, Pete has high hopes that everything will be okay. This historic flood may have caused a lot of pain and loss for South Louisiana, but one thing is for sure, it hasn't taken their faith.
Louisiana is a prideful state. We have a lot of pride in our state, and we are tough as nails, and we will bounce back, I promise.
Reporting in Louisiana, Deanne Lopez, CBS 7 News.
Hey, boo, what's happening? You already know. Hey, hey.
It's a greeting that's sure to make just about anyone smile, let alone make your day. Glenda Andrews wears her name badge proud and takes even more pride in making sure that each person who walks through these doors is taken care of.
They're not customers, Mama. They're not customers at all. Those are my friends.
There's not a customer that walks in the morning that goes through her line or her register that's not smiling when they leave.
This register and store became home to Glenda almost 1 year ago, and in that short period of time, she's touched the lives of many with her contagious laugh and smile.
I ran and come in one morning and I heard that voice and I knew I was in the right place. And you couldn't meet a better person.
We just love to come in here and, you know, she brightens our day. She makes us smile.
I mean, it makes work easier. You know, I'm down there working in the hot sun all day. Come down here, have a couple laps. I'm in a good mood on my way back to the shop.
So you gonna be drinking on some water this morning?
You know,
This is how we do it.
In a world filled with negativity, Glenda makes it a priority in her life to find and spread peace and love each and every day.
It's really the God working through me. That's all it is. Y'all don't see Glenda, y'all see the Lord that's working through me. He uses me every day.
Reporting in Odessa, Deanne Lopez.
I want to hear one more hey real loud.
CBS 7 News. Have you ever heard of a farm party?
No, I have not.
No.
No. Of a farm party before? No. I would just think of a bunch of animals.
Local medics and prevention groups say they're hard to track down, given the seemingly harmless names teens are using when referring to the parties, code names like a Skittles or trail mix party. Whether it's the bowl concept or just swapping pills, it's a real thing, and teens are partaking in these parties right here in the Permian Basin.
It's usually a small group of friends. It's usually just kind of, on the spur, on the fly type thing.
Kit Bredemis is the director of emergency services at Midland Memorial Hospital. He's all too familiar with the term farm party. The trend started picking up here in 2008. Bredemis says that's when he began noticing more overdoses among children under 17 years old. Fortunately, the numbers began to drop and have since fallen to an average of 40 for the past 5 years. Last year, they saw a total of 41.
Typically, the most common overdose we see is usually the opiate narcotics, usually leftover medications, and in children, in the teenager population, we typically see that either being the parents, that they've outdone their prescription, they don't need them anymore, they just had them laying around.
Bredemis recalls one particular teen who was rushed to the hospital for overdosing at one of these parties.
It made it extremely difficult to identify what exactly had been ingested, simply for the fact that they had just placed a bunch of different pills into a bowl to see what the effect would be.
While the teen did survive, Bredemis says if treatment isn't done within an hour of the overdose, the chances of having a full recovery are slim.
Ninja Turtle!
Have you ever had a Ninja Turtle deliver pizza to you?
Yes! No, you never have.
Is this the first time? It's every boy's dream come true to have a hero in a half shell pay you a visit, let alone deliver dinner to your front doorsteps.
I'm smiling, but you can't see it. You know, I got the mask on, but it's priceless seeing them kids.
Eloy Paye, his brother, and their wives dress up like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles every Thursday and Friday to deliver pizzas, all to keep the bills paid. Last February, Paye and his brother, both mechanics, had their pay cut by 10% and their hours reduced drastically.
I mean, at first, it wasn't too hard, but then over a while, it started hurting, you know. All that money we had saved up, it's pretty much gone.
The orders are made through their Facebook page, and let's just say business is booming for the family.
We were like, oh my gosh, we have to do this. It was like we didn't even think twice about it.
Oh, I was excited for the kids.
Paye and his family never thought they would be delivering pizzas as Raphael or Michelangelo, but love every second of it.
Say bye, Gina.
Now, Jay and Tatum, you have to give me a little credit for not telling that entire story without saying cowabunga. Now, to place your orders, just visit our website at CBS7.com. In the studio, Deanne Lopez, CBS 7 News.
We take pride in what we do. We're a family-owned, operated farm.
For nearly 40 years now, the Mandujano family's produce has been a staple in Pecos County. Onions, chili peppers, and squash are only a few crops that you'll find on the Mandujano brothers farm. But it's their Pecos cantaloupes and gigantic watermelons that have people coming back for more.
There's a taste down there in the cantaloupe that's real sweet, and also on the watermelon. It's got a lot of sugar on it. But right here, I think the way it makes it sweeter is the weather and the soil that we grow it in. It's hot and dry.
Two climates that Beto Mandujano says are a must to perfect these refreshing fruits. Now, although the Manguhono brothers still stick to traditional forms of farming, they have also embraced new methods involving technology.
This machine that we're looking at, we just got it 2 days ago. It's out of California.
A Ramsey Highlander is what it's known as, and she's every farm worker's best friend.
It makes the harvest go a lot easier and a lot faster, and it provides less work on the workers where they have to carry 40 pounds in their back.
With well over 4 million cantaloupes and watermelons being sent off to markets across the country each season, Bethel says there's no such thing as an off-season when it comes to farming.
It's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of long hours. You get stressed out throughout the season, but it's all worth it when customer tells you that they got a watermelon, they got a cantaloupe, and they're looking for another one.
With your eye on Pecos County, Deanne Lopez, CBS 7 News. A living miracle is how doctors describe Correctional Officer Jason Self. The father of 5 has been told by every one of his doctors that if it weren't for the initial care he received at the scene of the crash, he'd be dead right now. In the 10 years that Orlando Rios has been with the Odessa Fire and Rescue Department, he's never seen or worked a crash as horrific as the one Jason was in.
I'd imagine that wreck over and over and over.
It was just before 8 a.m. when the prison transport bus hit a damaged guardrail on I-20 near Penwell. The driver lost control and skidded off an icy overpass and down an embankment where it collided with a passing train.
So is this Mr. Orlando?
Yes, ma'am.
It was an emotional moment. Jason and his wife Michelle met the EMT who saved his life.
Thank you.
Jason, 2 of his fellow correctional officers, and 12 inmates were on their way from the Middleton prison in Abilene to the Sanchez unit in El Paso. Minutes before reaching Penwell, one of the other correctional officers swapped spots with Jason, who was driving at the time, prompting him to take a seat in the back of the bus.
They said that the only seat that was still attached to the bus was the one I was in.
Orlando and his partner were the first paramedics to arrive at the scene. They knew they had to act quickly but carefully. After assessing the wreck, it looked like the back of the bus would be the easiest path to reach what appeared to be multiple lifeless bodies. People on the scene helped Orlando open the back door.
I couldn't tell what was what.
Debris was scattered everywhere, blocking all paths to the front of the bus. Orlando was getting ready to close the door when he saw fingers slowly moving. One had a wedding ring on it.
And it was shining. I mean, the sun wasn't out, but it was still shining. And I explained to Jason, with all the blood on him and everything, that ring stuck out. Just kept telling me to get him home, keep him alive, talk to him. He's married, has a baby.
Orlando expected spinal injuries, so he immediately called for a device known as a KED. The device, which is much like a brace, was wrapped around Jason's body to keep his head, neck, and torso from moving.
Come to find out, his neck was broken 3 different pieces, and a doctor said that man and that device saved your life.
There isn't a day that's gone by that Orlando hasn't stopped to think of how Jason's recovery is going. How does it feel, to be here,
Very, very warming, I guess, very heartfelt. Just to see your children, hanging out with you, and just your family continues. So
I love him so much. I'm glad that Orlando got my dad out of the bus and saved him and saved his life.
Although Jason continues to make astonishing improvements, he still has a long road ahead. Doctors say it will be another 2 years until they know what injuries are permanent and which are not. Aside from breaking his neck, Jason also suffered a broken jaw, left shoulder blade, arm, ribs, collapsed lung, and partial brain damage.
Sometimes I have a hard time remembering things, or when I'm talking, I lose track kind of what I'm talking about, or I can't find the words that I'm looking for. I can't, I can draw blanks.
What worries the family the most is the fear of the unknown. Just 10 years shy of his retirement, Jason thought his family's future was secure.
it just stresses me out. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what like looking for a job. If I had to go look for a job tomorrow, I'd be scared to death. I wouldn't know, who would hire me.
Jason is still on the Middleton Prison's payroll, and his medical bills are being taken care of by the state. But the family has concerns about how long that financial support will continue.
Every time I look at the mirror, I see these scars. It's just a constant reminder. And the pain every day, it's hard to get past. Hard to get over that hump.
His family has a message for the man who saved his life.
Tonight is probably the first night he's going to be able to go to bed, and he's like, I know how he's doing tonight. I know he's at home. I know he's with his kids. I know how he's doing tonight. And he's going to sleep good because he knows he has an end. But I want him to know that this isn't an end. This is a beginning. Because through this all, we have all developed a whole new family. And I want him to know that he is a part of ours.
Deanne Lopez, CBS 7 News.